Hey there, this is a quick familiarization video of Lucy, a life-size lunging German Shepherd, which is going to provide you with a lot of fun and entertainment. All right, Lucy is built by my hands for Halloween. Anyway, I wanted to show you around Lucy and give you an idea of what her parts are. She has a head which does swivel. A servo does control that, but it does spin freely with just a modest amount of force. The other servo, there's only two servos with Lucy. The second servo operates her jaw set. That apparently is what this plastic piece is called. I bought it out of a taxidermy catalog, and that's why the teeth look so realistic, because they were intended for taxidermy purposes. Anyway, Lucy is sitting on her action is controlled by this scissor apparatus down here below her body, and that is generated up by the force of a pneumatic cylinder. So here are some of the general parts. Here's part of the scissor mechanism here. A friend of mine who does welding helped me construct that. This aluminum piece just underneath her abdomen is a kickstand. The scissor switch has good stability, but not great. So when she would go up and then come back down, I noticed that it wobbled quite a bit. So we installed that kickstand to keep things stable. This plastic chain is for decoration only. It's very light. Back here, the control lines are one is pneumatic and two are electrical. The two electrical ones, I've marked one. These actually plug into the wizard board. Here they are right here. There's a better light. Number one and number two positions on the wizard board is where you will plug in these servo control lines. And then the other line, which actuates the pneumatic cylinder, is attached here. Let's see if we can get that so that you can see it. The end is just simply one of those push on, quick on, quick off pneumatic cylinders. I think it's made of vinyl, and you can find it in a Home Depot or anything like that. Also on the pneumatic line is a pressure control. I installed this. I rarely have had to use that, but if the pressure is too high, it'll be pretty obvious to you when you operate Lucy that it's too high. But 35 psi seems to be the right operating pressure, and this valve allows you to fine-tune that from this point. You don't have to use it if you've got a control somewhere else, but that's how that works. All right, Lucy is constructed essentially on the outside. Here is some synthetic fur, which we picked up in a shop which sells other materials for sewing. And so some of this fur is relatively loosely draped, but it's held on in a couple of places by a wire, which it essentially disappears underneath the fur. But to disconnect it, you can simply undo it at some of these at these points where the wire comes together, and then that will allow you to peel this fur off of Lucy, and you can look in there and see her inner workings, which really is made of a metal bar, which is the main point of strength. There's almost a boat-like structure in here with quarter-inch plywood as the main armature, and then we've got some ribs that are also quarter-inch plywood that round out the shape. The legs are also quarter-inch plywood, but also have some foam attached to them, and then we shaped that. Down here, the feet are essentially also foam, and these are essentially attached in place. These legs are on a hinge, and then when Lucy comes up, the legs really don't move, except when it comes up, there is the ability for the hinges to come into play. There's another wooden hinge that spans the shoulders from one side to another, and you can readily see those in some photographs that I'm going to send you. Lucy is pretty sturdy, all in all. If there was any weak point on Lucy, it would probably be, just they're not fragile, but they can be damaged. The foam feet. Nothing else really is too terribly fragile, but of course you'll want to, handle a lot of the moving bits with care.